so I'm Dana, Dentice. I'm with the PHS Tree Tenders program. I'm so excited to be here in media. Media's back in action, tree planting. Thanks to Julie for really getting this back up and running, and her fellow leaders and her whole team and all of you here. This is amazing. So yeah, we're so excited to have media back as a tree tenders group, part of our network of, we have probably about 115 active tree tenders groups in the region. And we are planting 2,014 trees in our 5-county region, which is the biggest PHS Tree Tenders planting in history.
Wow!
That we know of. We're pretty sure. We're pretty sure it's the biggest one. And yes, so your trees are a part of that. How many total in media this weekend?
29.
29! That's amazing. That's a really awesome start for getting your first time. That's amazing. So yeah, we're part of a tree tenders. Who's all a tree tender here? Can we do a quick name?
Jen.
Beth.
Ayana.
Beth.
Jane. Julie. Olivia. Dana. Vivian.
Nice to meet you all. Again, I'm Dana. So I'm with PHS, and I help manage the Tree Tenders program and get communities like media up and running and support them in tree planting and tree care. So I'm also a certified arborist. So if anyone's interested, on a career path, that is one path that I recommend you check out. But so we are going to be planting, how many trees today, Julie?
8.
8 trees. We're going to be planting in residential yards today?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So that is fantastic. So tree tenders, what it is for those of you who aren't yet a tree tender, but aren't yet a tree tender, it's essentially, it's like a grassroots-based program to plant trees and take care of them in your own community. So PHS, we provide a brief training, it's like 8 hours total, on what it takes to plant trees, take care of them, what stresses them out, how they grow. We give you the basics and some basics on how to organize your community around tree planting and tree care. So our goal is to build up tree canopy where we live. Having a healthy tree canopy in your community where you live, where you work, where you play is absolutely critical to our health, to our mental health and our wellness, and also to our environment. So I think I'm probably speaking to the choir to you all here.
The oxygen we breathe.
The oxygen. Yeah, so there's the basics, the trees provide us oxygen, they give us shade, they help mitigate air pollution and water pollution and reduce flooding, food for wildlife, habitat for wildlife. But there's so much more research coming out now on the public health benefits. Like studies show that it reduces depression, it increases, boosts your mood, it reduces even cardiovascular diseases, obesity, ADHD, even crime. There's studies show that trees where there's greenery in places of higher crime, planting and greening reduces gun violence and other types of crime. So they're like an amazing transformational tool, and they're relatively a cheap tool compared to our other ways of achieving these benefits. We know it's getting hotter and wetter with our changing climate, so we need the trees to help keep those temperatures down as we warm up and to deal with all that extra stormwater that's coming during our big storms. So today we are going to plant in Mark's yard over here. Yay!
You still have lining on the top of the tree. It won't be
Very good. This is good to point out.
You'll be in jail.
Yeah, if I can get a helper to help cut this or untie it, that would be great. So we're gonna start Can I get 2 helpers to start digging the hole?
Yeah, I can do that. As long as it's diggable.
So what we're gonna do, we're planting a swamp white oak tree, which is one of my favorites. This tree will get really, really big. We're gonna plant right here. So what I'm gonna show you, don't dig yet. There's a tool, a trick. So we're gonna be planting in grass. And Julie, where are you? Where'd you go? None of the holes are pre-dug, right? So we're doing it all ourselves. So you're gonna warm up today. If you're cold,
I'm warming up right now.
get your shovel out and get digging. What I recommend before, instead of using the shovel at first, do you have pickaxes? Yeah. You want to use the pick tool. Where did it go here? Right here. So you can lay the shovel down for now. Can someone take garbage for me? So, any tarps?
We have 1 tarp.
Okay, and I have 2 or 3 tarps, so I'm happy to loan them out.
Okay.
But what I recommend is you're gonna want to use a tarp. And we don't need to have it fully open, but and we were planting about right here, right? Yeah. So you want to lay your tarp down right next to the planting hole, and this is where you're going to put your soil, and this will make it easier for you to get the soil back in the hole and not get the soil all in the grass, and then you can't get it back in the hole because it's hard. So put your tarp down. Then you wanna use a pickaxe. Hopefully, I've got if your pickaxe has Maddox side to it. If you got that, then you want to use the blade of this to tear up the grass. So we want to get the turf off and just the grass, and try to keep as much of the soil in place. Yeah, so if someone want to take over for me while I do some more talking. I can't multitask. I can't, it's a little hard for me to dig in. So you want to essentially make a roughly a circle, tearing up the grass, and then you can set the grass aside. We're going to want to discard the grass. The grass should not go back in the hole. So you want to make a circle that is at least as big as your root system. Yeah, roughly, maybe a 3 foot diameter. Yes, a 3 foot diameter hole. And so let's do a poll here. So I've got this lovely tree here. This is called a bare root tree. This means it's the type of stock. So any guesses on why it's called bare root?
Because there's no soil on it.
Ah, you got it. Pretty intuitive, huh?
Yeah.
But this is actually a relatively rare way of planting. Not the most common types of stock you see are like container potted trees, which is what most people, the average person, can plant in their yard because that's what's available when you go to your local garden store or wherever. Most people plant containers. The landscape industry, they plant mostly B&Bs, which means balled and burlap. They have giant root balls, and they weigh hundreds of pounds. Can you imagine if we had to plant a giant balled and burlap tree that weighed hundreds of pounds? We couldn't do it without some equipment. So this is one of the reasons why we love to do bare root trees, because essentially there's no soil, so it makes it. I can lift it, with one to lift it. So this guy's heavy. This one probably weighs about 25 pounds or so, but some of them are less. Oh, we got a really deep hole to dig, you guys. Okay, so this tree, all our 2014 trees came from a nursery in New York, Schichtel's, and they specialize in bare root trees. And so we actually went to the nursery a couple of weeks ago to pick these out and make sure we were getting the best of the best for you. Looking at good quality and structure and form and making sure there's no injuries or disease issues. So we picked out the best of the best, and we're excited to bring them here. So how's that hole coming along?
Do you want it wider or is that wide enough?
So let's see. What do y'all think? So if this is our root system, which seems to be deeper than wide.
Could be twice as wide.
Well, ideally, but we won't go twice as wide. It's at least go as wide as your root ball. So you guys can start digging the hole, I think. So my tree tenders, how deep of a hole are we digging?
Twice as deep.
What's that?
Twice as deep, twice as wide.
Twice as deep?
What I've been taught.
Yeah, but from where she's pointing down.
Okay. So that twice as deep will make your tree, you'll be putting it in a grave. So we don't want to do twice as deep. You only do, what did you point out to me, Julie?
From where the roots start to splay out.
Yeah.
There.
Yeah. You got it. You're not even a tree tender, are you?
No, but I watched the video.
Oh, she did her homework. You get...
The reason I'm twice as deep
Yeah.
is you just want to loosen the soil.
That is actually the wrong answer because that's how...
Change the soil, just loosen
You
it.
loosen the soil on the sides of the hole because your roots are going to grow outwards. They don't generally grow downwards. So most roots grow in the top 12 inches of soil because that's where they get oxygen, they get water, and they get most of the nutrients from that first top foot of soil. So it's actually a myth. So lots of trees tap roots as they grow down. It depends on the tree and it depends on the environment, but most of your roots are going to continue to grow outwards because also think about anchorage. If this tree will put down roots down, but they grow out, right? Yep. So if I had loose soil at the bottom of this tree, would it stay at the same level? So we don't want loose soil and that's one of the key mistakes people make is the soil at the bottom of the hole is loose because then after we plant it, you come back a week later and your tree is sunk. So you need a firm bottom of the hole, but you want the sides of everything around the tree, the soil, we're loosening it up, we're getting it out, and then we're gonna put it back in around each and every root. Yeah, so in this case, you said where it splays out, and that's where your trunk splays out into your structural roots. So these little ones don't count. These are just, this is called an adventitious root. It just grew like that because it was buried in soil at the nursery. This could be clipped off if it's above the soil. It's going to end up being above the soil line, so this could be clipped off. When we get this tree in the hole, everything essentially above my hands is staying exposed above the ground, and everything below my hands will be buried in soil. So you want to see just the tops of the structural roots when you're done planting. And this is if you don't remember anything, this is the one point to remember, is that we don't want to bury this part of the tree in soil or mulch because this has special tissue. This is bark tissue, and bark is meant to be exposed and dry. So many trees get planted too deeply, and actually some people, so another thing to look for is that our trees will have, often have a bulge here, and this is called a graft union. So some people confuse this bulge and they say, oh, it's flaring here, so that means I need to put the soil about here. And this is also a mistake. So you're looking for a root flare, not just a flare, you're looking for a root flare, which means the roots, the major roots are starting. And this is what you want above the soil. All right? So that's the key thing to remember on planting. So that means we only dig a hole that's from my hands down to the base of the roots. So in this case, this is a deeper root system than we usually have for trees. So yeah, and that's all right. You can use your tools to break up the roots. If you have a pruners, you can use your pruners to cut them. Yes.
You want to try these? Julie had these.
All right, and so, okay, so key one is, step one is planting at the right depth, and then the other thing is you want to splay the roots outwards like the spokes of a wheel. You want as many roots going in every direction from the tree so that the tree will give it good anchorage as it gets big. That's how trees stay tall, because they put out their roots for anchorage in as many directions as they can. Let's just talk, I want to say a couple things about tool safety while they're here and still digging. We've got a pickaxe. This can be a dangerous tool. So if anyone is using it, make sure no one is near you. And I like to say, stand back, I'm using the pickaxe.
Stand back. I'm gonna
And then even a shovel can be a dangerous tool, especially when people are putting soil back into the hole and then you've got somebody working down near the tree. So watch people's fingers, watch people's heads if you're using the shovel. So another thing about tree safety is we want to keep the roots covered up when if the tree hasn't gone in the ground, keep the roots covered as much as possible, because if they dry out in this wind or even in the sun, that will kill the roots, and we don't want that to happen. Other things to point out, so we've got all this goop, this sludgy, gooey stuff on the roots, and that's actually, this stuff is called hydrogel, and this is actually the stuff that you find in baby diapers. These little beads hold moisture, and this is what allows us to do bare root. The nursery dips the tree in this hydrogel stuff, and it holds the moisture against the roots until we get the tree in the ground. So that's a nice little thing. And so if you end up with any of this sludgy mixture at the end, you could pour this on top of the hole. After we put the soil in, you could just put this.
Is that soil or hydrogel?
This is hydrogel. So
it's hydrogel, okay.
Yep. So you could just put it on the top of the hole, and then when it rains, it'll recharge, and then when the soil dries, this stuff would let the moisture down to the soil, into the soil. So the other thing to look at the roots about is if you have any damaged, broken roots or any, you can clip those off with your pruners. Can I get someone to hold this tree for me? Okay. So yeah, if you have any damaged or broken roots, or things with like a torn end to them, you can make a nice clean cut so that cut will encourage more root growth. I think. So here, like, I'll clean this up a little bit to encourage more root growth where I cut it.
That's this one here.
That's that
big one.
Yeah.
It looks like a mushy on the end.
All right. So that will stimulate more growth out from the ends of the roots. And that's thank you. Okay, and then if you have any roots that are doing some funky things like circling back towards your tree, or like looks like they're gonna end up choking your tree, like if I had a root doing this, I would definitely clip that off. We don't want any circling or what we call them girdling roots. I'm gonna get rid of this guy because it's gonna be above the soil. So this kink here, I don't really care for that. So what I'm gonna do, and it's not a huge portion of the whole root system. So I think I'm gonna cut it so that the roots grow out from here instead of having that kinkiness to them. And then I think, you want to flip it for me? What's your name again? Hazel. Awesome, thank you, Hazel. Yeah, I think that's good. I think I like that. Okay, so have your tree leader take a look at the roots, and then we also want to look at the top of the tree. So let's put this back in the bag. And then the next step is, before we put the tree in the hole, we want to make sure there's no broken branches on the top, because they're going to be hard to get to if we've planted the tree. So we'll lean it down, watch eyes. So just take a look. See, do you see anything broken, Hazel, on your end? And then make sure you pull the branches out if they're stuck together.
Maybe up top there.
Up top. All right, can we lean it down?
At the top.
Oh, here's a broken one.
Very top edge one.
Yeah. Couple broken ones. So we prune these back to a living bud, and then that stimulates more growth.
You've got one right here. I think that you're going to want to do something with.
And I'm doing a little subordination because I want to encourage one strong central leader, and I don't want other branches competing with it. And this one, ooh, it's 4. Ooh. So I'm gonna take it back. Got to take it back to there. And then this one might be dead. No, it's got green tissue. Okay. Anything else? Did we get it all? Awesome. Yeah, so we don't do too much pruning. We basically prune the dead broken branches, because this tree is in a little bit of shock from being dug out of its home. So, and it's going to need all the green leaves next season to make food for itself. Yep, you can lay it down. All right, so I think our tree is ready to go. How are we doing on the hole?
How are we doing on the hole?
Oh, you look like you're getting there. Okay. So again, when you finally put the tree in the hole, you just want to make sure there's no loose soil at the bottom, or that tree will sink. Could sink over time. Awesome. So we can put
that's enough, Deanna?
Is that good? Yeah. I think
Really?
so.
Okay.
Now let's try it. So I'm going to put it in the hole. So deeper. Let's see. Can I get a stake? So I like to use the stake as a level tool, and you lay it down next to the tree. Make sure it's just laying flat, and not on a pile of soil. So the bottom of the stake is the grade. So we're not deep enough in the hole, because again, we want what's below my hands here to be under the soil. So we have a couple more inches we got to dig out.
Okay.
And it's better to be too high than too deep. So pickaxe. So you want to use probably your strong arm, hold it at this end. I'm a lefty, so I'm holding it this way. And then basically you let the tool do the work, and you slide it up, like that action. And so otherwise you're gonna hurt your back. So let the tool do the work. So this is great if you've got rocks, bricks, this will help you. So, and let's, a shovel demonstration. You want to use You can use the weight of your feet. So it's kind of hard on here, but when you start the hole, you can use the weight of your shoes and your body to use the shovel. Bigger hole is wider.
Yes, it does make me want. I can loosen it for you.
Okay. Oh, actually, we're almost there. It's mostly, yeah, we need to go a little wider here. No, oh, this is the other route. Never mind. We need to go deeper down here and deeper. I'm seeing where the roots contact.
So that's what you're seeing where they contact.
To know where to dig deeper. So definitely here we gotta dig deeper.
Stand back, I'm using a pickaxe.
Okay. Got all the loose soil out?
A little bit.
All right, I think we must be, we gotta be there. All right, tree please.
Tree, please.
Tree please.
That's the way you had it.
Okay, that's where I had it?
Yes.
Is it the way I had it?
I feel like maybe it's
Actually, we're good. This is good enough. You can be a little high, it's okay. Okay, so we finally got the right depth. Now our job is to, what would be next? After we got the right depth, what do we do next? Splay the roots. You got it. So yes, you take as many of these. Again, you want them to go in every direction if you can. So and usually we often find there's a flat side. So if you have a flat side, definitely try to get roots to go to that flat side. And what we're gonna do now, we've got a couple of roots here. I'm gonna dig some trenches. So we're gonna dig a trench here and a trench here to put these roots.
Now, Dana, why is that preferable to just making the hole wider? Why would you do trenches? I want to understand that.
Yes, you can make that. Making the hole wider is preferable.
Okay.
But we've been here a long time, so we're just gonna.
Trenches is faster.
Trenches is faster.
Is it?
Oh, you're getting it. Now, can you pop it up? Leverage, pry it up. Keep prying, keep prying. All right. Now a little bit longer, so just extend it a little bit. There you go. Dig in. There you go. Now pry it. All right. We're good. And let's see. That one's going in here. And then I'm gonna need one more.
Did that one come out?
Actually, did it come out? No.
Oh, that's weird.
We're gonna send this one this way.
Oh, okay.
So I tucked it in. Good night. Take a nap. Okay, one more. Okay, so the next task. What's the next task? Who watched the video?
Putting the soil.
Not right before we do that.
Water?
Not yet. You're actually doing the job, Jen.
Oh, you gotta make sure it's straight.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. So is this stem? Is the step? Is it straight on every angle? You're good at this
It
side.
looks like it's just naturally curving.
Yeah, some will naturally curve, but look for.
Then it's curving back up and the other way.
And I generally look at what is this part of the tree doing,
Look at the whole thing.
because the top will kind of straighten out, and eventually, as the tree grows, you won't notice any bows towards the base. But generally, you want this middle section straight as can be. So we look good. All right, we're good. Now, Jen, don't move. Okay, this is a very important job. Okay, so now we start backfilling. Essentially, we need to get soil in between every root, and we need to get a lot of soil under the base of the tree, so I start there. And sometimes what you could also do is you could build up a mound under the base of the tree, but I'll do that kind of as I go. And you want to really tamp this soil so that it's firm, and there's no air pockets, so we can't.
Dana, what do the air pockets do?
The air pockets kill the roots. So any big air pockets, the root dries out and it dies, and then it can't take up water.
Okay.
So there will be pore space. There'll be small pore space for air and water, but we don't want any major air pockets. So also to think about what else would create air pockets.
Rock.
Big rocks. Get those out of there. Other things would be anything else that's not soil, that's kind of big and chunky. Even clumps of soil. So one person job, if you have someone standing around and you have big clods of soil, one person's job can just be breaking up the soil so it looks like nice and fine. This is really good soil, Mark. I like this. This is nice.
I know, that was beautiful.
So you get some soil in the hole, and then you just do some more tamping. And again, build up, get that soil under the base of the tree and in between all the roots. So so this is just be careful if someone is shoveling and I'm down here.
Yeah.
Please be careful. Can I get some more help? No, a shoveler, please. We're getting to, this is the quick part. Okay, a few more scoops. Give me some big scoops. And just careful not to nick the tree as you're putting the shovel near it. Okay, so now just make sure we're getting it into all, there's a void under here. So I gotta you push the soil in with your fingers. Get rid of those air pockets that are in there. Yeah, more soil in here and just more soil all around. And then, and you know what? We can let the tarp do the rest of the work. So can you bring the water over here and let's pour it in?
Sure.
And just pour it right at the base. Just dump it right around the base of the tree, right at the trunk. And yep, keep going. I just give it all of it. If you see any water circling or going down real fast, that means you have an air pocket. So you just take your fingers or the back of your shovel and do a little of this if you got air pockets. Okay, but I think we were good. So now, since there's pretty little soil left, can I get someone to help me with the tarp? And again, make sure there's no rocks, junk, no turf grass, no roots or sticks.
Look at that. Beautiful.
Okay. And now we just spread it out. This is a rock. We don't want that. Yeah, you want to help? Anyone want to help spread it out? If you just have any big clumps, just break them up with your hands. And then, again, we're going to make sure our root flare stays exposed. You can, pack it down with your hands a little bit. Okay. And also, double check to make sure we're still pretty straight.
I was just looking at
Are we okay?
Yeah, looking good.
Okay. Awesome. Now, we're just about there. We want to leave the site as clean as we can and get any of this soil in the hole and out of the grass. So it looks nice and pretty when we're done. And if you have
Water first.
and then we're gonna water. Yes, we're gonna water before we mulch. If you have, I would recommend throwing this out, but you could make a little ring with any like clumps of grass. You turn the grass side down, and a little berm to help hold the water in the hole. Okay, so let's give it some more water. Who wants to do the honors?
Okay.
What's your name again? Vivian. All right, let's get some water.
How much do you want?
So pour it slowly.
Okay.
I basically pour. I pour it until the water starts running away. So just keep pouring around the whole tree. Come on to the other side. Yeah, so you just give it a good drink. That's about good. So here, this is where if we had more of a berm, it would keep that. Okay, so now it's time for mulch. Who wants some mulch? Beth?
Is that with the shovel or
You can dump it. Take the wheelbarrow and dump it. Yep. Dump it and then we'll spread it.
No volcanoes.
You want to come on this side? Yeah. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Highland Avenue.
Do you want to spread it? So our rule for mulching, who remembers the rule of mulching?
3 feet away, 3 inches away,
3
and
inches
3
away.
feet around.
3 feet around, and how thick? 3 inches. 3 is the rule.
3. That's a good
3 inches thick-ish. 3 inches from the trunk, and about a 3-foot ring, or however much mulch you have. Spread the ring out. And I wouldn't stomp on it because we want the mulch to be fluffy so that water can penetrate. But yeah, use your hands and just get it away from the trunk, and about 3 inches thick, and then make it a beautiful little mulch bagel, mulch donut, whatever you want to call it. And then take the rest of your water.
I know. Get on that.
Soak it drains so we can put more water in there. Whoever wants to pour it.
Like the center or all around?
In the center, and then if you have more water, you can mulch the water the mulch. Yep. Yep. So now water the mulch. Yay! Now the final thing is doing the stakes. This is a dangerous job. It can be. So what you're gonna do is, this is our stake driver, and these I've had arborist friends whack themselves in the head and go to the ER. So they are pretty heavy. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna have your buddy hold the stake down. You're gonna slide it on. Hopefully this fits and doesn't get you. If it's tight, don't use this driver. I do have a bigger driver on me, so if it's snug, really snug, don't use it. But these look like they'll just fit. And then we want to place them opposite, and I like to generally place it in a north-south direction, if that makes sense. So north is this way. Okay. So, and I put it about 1.5 feet or so from the tree. And then you can have someone hold it for you, but if you're gonna hold it, they hold it down here. So, and not up here.
So push it in as far as you can.
Yeah, push it in as far as you can. And then you let the weight of the tool do most of the work. And you want to put your knees into this, so you want to keep your knees bent. So you slide it up partial way, not too high. Or if you go too high, this is where it's going to fall on your head. I think and then you want it vertical, okay? So no angled. Am I straight?
Yeah.
Which way do I need to go?
No,
Toward me?
Okay.
And you want it in enough that See, if I go too high, it's gonna fall on me.
Yeah.
So don't do that. You want it in enough that it's not too wobbly. And it should end, you know, usually in this area, around your chin. Anyone else want to try the next one?
Good placement.
So, want to lean it down for us. You gotta help me here. Watch your fingers. Now, put it opposite, about the same distance from the other as the other one to make it look pretty. Right, your turn. And I can get it started if it's too high. Oh my gosh, is it too high? You hold. Okay, I'll get it started. You want to start, Mark?
Why not?
Yeah, you go for it, Mark. Get it started. Yeah, come close. Yep. Okay. Want to take over? Thank you, Mark. Yep.
Awesome.
Give it a little more. As the weight, push in a little bit. There you go. Try to keep it vertical, going up and down. Yep, you got it. Look at you. Give a few more. Woo! Yeah, let's take it off and see. Yes. Yep.
About the same height?
We gotta go a little. We gotta go more.
There you go. Good style. Better bend those knees.
Yeah.
I think I can get it.
There you go. Is that good? I think you gotta go a little more. Okay. Yep. Yep. Keep going.
Maybe this one. Yeah.
There you go.
Yay!
Yay! Woohoo!
Congrats. All right. Woo! Now the final part. No, not the final. Where the straps go. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna show you. There's a number of ways to tie. The way I've been doing it is I will put a knot about just a little over a foot from the end. So just make a little stopper knot. And this is a tying method courtesy of my colleague John Rizzo. I don't know if some of you, my co-instructor for Tree Tenders. This is our new method of. We want to tie it. If you have branches that are about the height of the stake, you would put it above the lowest branch. But since our branches are higher, we're not going to use the branches. We're just going to come roughly around near the top of the stake. And we're going to take, you're going to take the short end, and you got your knot here. We're going to just tie a knot that's going to end here on the outside of our stopper knot. I've just been tying like a double knot, like a loose double knot, like your shoelaces or whatever, and not too tight. But so the key here is the material can't strangle the tree because it stops at the knot. But if this got left on too long, that the tree as it grew could push it out and not get strangled by the tie. Okay, so that's what I do here. And then you just basically go roughly horizontal. You take it around the post, and this is called a clove hitch. So I go around the post, I go under the strap, just right under it, come back around, and I go then right above the strap, So it's pretty much like three horizontal pieces there. Maybe you guys want to come around so you can see this. So what I did was, I got it here. I go under, then just over. Okay, and then you take the end and maybe come around this way. Then you're gonna tuck the end into the outer strap that you just wrapped. You tuck that end underneath just the outer strap, and you pull the end down, and you have like a little cross when you're done, and it's flat against the stake. Okay, and then you just cinch it. You pull it this way, and it's tight. And then if you want for extra safety, you could just put a little stopper knot right up against the stake. And so this allows you to easily take it off and to adjust it if you need it, versus just tying a couple knots. It's hard to get off. Okay? Who wants to do the next one? Anyone? So what are we gonna start?
About a foot in, I make a
Yeah,
knot.
yep, about a foot or a little bit more. Make a knot. We got enough strap so you could go more than a foot. So you make your stopper knot at least a foot in from the end. You got a foot there. Okay. So then you go right around the other one. You put that end around the tree. Okay. You find your knot here, your stopper. You just make a little double knot right on the outside of the stopper knot.
How did you do it? Like this?
Yep.
Okay.
And don't make it too tight.
Okay.
There you go. Okay. So now you test it to make sure it could slide out.
Too tight?
It got a little tight. Yeah. That's all right. Mark will take it off. These straps should only be on about one growing season. So at the end of next summer, Mark, you can actually remove these if the tree feels stable. Okay. Now, do you remember?
Now
This is the clove hitch.
All right, so I go around.
So first of all, come a little more horizontal.
Okay.
Okay.
And then I go around and go under first.
Mm-hmm.
And then go around and go over first.
Yep.
And then I tuck it through this.
Yes. Yes. Slide it down. And then you just make sure everything is flat against the stake, and you cinch it away in the opposite direction.
And then tie a little knot.
And then tie a little
there.
knot. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you should be good. Yay! So for the tags, I recommend you putting them on the strap rather than on the tree. And then also taking this, the nursery label off, and also could keep it, if the homeowner's cool with that. It's good to have, help them remember the species. And then these maybe, so what we do in the summer, we're gonna ask your group to come back and check on all the trees and do a little health report, data collection, citizen science program. And we wanna make sure we know what species of tree you're looking at when you do that. So that, and if you wanna learn more about tree tenders, go to the PHS website, use them here. We have a class coming up in January, it's virtual. So I encourage as many of you to become tree tenders as you can, so we can build out the media tree tenders group and do more and more. And let's, our final thing to ring in this tree and make sure it lives long. Everyone gather in a circle. Everyone gather in a circle around this beautiful tree. Okay, now everyone put your hands in. Now, here we go. All right.